Hello and welcome to KennyRoy.com. I'm Kenny Roy. This is the Ask Video Mail for the week of October 15th, 2012. Welcome to the site to the new members and welcome back to the old. The Ask Video Mail is your chance to get your question in character animation or performance answered in a video just like this one, but I need your question if I'm going to answer it, so please send them to webmaster@kennyroy.com. There is no such thing as a stupid question, and it's the best way to get the most out of your subscription. There's a lot going on right now. A lot. So I'm making another video. I'm going to post it here on Kenny Roy. I'm going to post on YouTube, 11 Second Club, everywhere I can. Facebook as well, just so that I can tell everybody what you have to look forward to in the coming weeks. But I'm going to repeat it really quickly right here, just in case this is the only time you see it. Going on right now is the October lifetime giveaway. Anyone who signs up for the free 30-day trial during October gets automatically entered into a contest to receive a free lifetime membership to KennyRoy.com. Why this affects you as members is if you refer the person that signs up for the 30-day trial, you also get a lifetime membership. Okay, so it's a random drawing. You have a better chance the more people you refer to these sites, and guess what? You still get a 30-day referral bonus for referring members that sign up to the trial. So if you refer 6 people, you get 6 months for free on top of the chance to win the lifetime membership. So it's a pretty cool deal going on right now. Also, next week on the 25th, actually, is it a week? I'm terrible at math. Yeah, next week, next Thursday on the 25th, I'm doing a free demo reel review here on KennyRoy.com. It'll be on the homepage. Sign up in the forum. All right, that's going to be awesome. I'm also going to be at CTN, which is November 16th, 17th, and 18th. I will be at the Animation Mentor booth for an hour. You can come by, say hi, talk about animation, ask about the school, show me your work, whatever you want. So look for details on that. It's coming up. Also, Autodesk University. Not a lot of people in the animation industry know about Autodesk University, but what it is it's a yearly gathering in Las Vegas where users of Autodesk software come together and take classes and workshops and hands-ons about Autodesk software. So it's really cool this year because they've added a media and entertainment track. Normally it was like AutoCAD and Revit and Factory Designer and these kind of a little bit more esoteric industries. Now they've added media and entertainment, and I'm giving a course called Mass Animation. It's going to be really cool. I'm sorry, Mass Entertainment. I don't know why I said Mass Animation. Mass Entertainment, and it's about new crowdsourcing or crowdfunding tools and how to get people excited about your film and producing your own content. So learn about Autodesk University by just going to autodeskuniversity.com. Or searching for it, and please sign up. There will be information about that posted on the site as well. Okay, and then I'm going off to India potentially. I think it's in the bag, but I'm doing some training at Technicolor in December, and then off for vacation. So a lot of things kind of going on at the same time, but stay tuned around the site to take a look at them. I like the video mail question this week. It's a good one. Take a look. That's a great question. I think that it's great because really it gives me a chance to demonstrate that workflow really doesn't change. I mean, your workflow should change. I don't mean that it literally never changes ever, but what I try to impart in these lectures and these video mails is that your workflow is something that you always go to. You always start at the beginning of your workflow and just go through all the steps that you have written down. Okay? If you don't have it written down, you probably should. It probably means that you don't quite know what your workflow is at this point. Okay? But What that means is that kind of it's the exact same thing as the quick quad walk. What this animator is referencing is the quick quad walk video, which is a lecture. I think it's like 60 or 90 minutes, and it's basically how to get in that time. I start at 0 and I go all the way through. There's no like Julia Child's cooking show, like, you know, put a turkey in the oven and take the one that's done out of the oven. I don't think. I hope not. But no, you can basically get from 0 to 60 on a quad walk in that much time. Okay, and it's workflow based. All right, so go check it out if you haven't already. But my point I'm making is that the workflow is the exact same thing. I discovered very, very long ago that the stride length is the first thing that you have to nail down. And then once you've done that, you need to get your basically your all your main movers cycling, and you get your footfalls, just like decide on your pattern, get that working, and then start right with the biggest controller. Start with those hips, or if it's a quad, well, I show you in the quick quad how to do the hips and the shoulders. But with a character like this, just start with that waist or that root or whatever you want to call it, and actually get that weight starting move, get that up and down motion, and start getting some of that rotation in there, and then away you go. Okay, so let's just run through that real quick, because it is that fast, and you know, we can actually get a little bit done here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start by referencing in a Morpheus rig, and we're just going to go through the act of finding the stride length. Okay, so you know that when a character walks forward, or you know, in a cycle or of a walk or a run, that they have a stride length, which is the distance that they travel in one cycle. Now, one cycle with 2 legs is 2 steps. Right? Because if you start on this foot, let me move it like this, right? If you start on this foot, then this one's going to step. Oops, I just grabbed a deformer. This one's going to step, and then this one's going to step. But right when it steps is when it's the end of the cycle, right? So it's 2 steps. And it's the number of steps of limbs you have. So a biped, 2 steps. All right, you get it. So, but how do we find that stride length? It's very, very easy. First thing we're going to do, remember with workflow, very important now, to make sure that your rig is created properly, where the master controller, you know, this main mover, what is it called on Morpheus? Spine root. Okay, good, root. So the root controller and all of the IK controls that you use in world space. So in this case, it would be the feet, okay? You want to make sure that they all move in the same object space, or the same scaled space. All right, so if I select the root and both feet and move them forward, all right, and then look at the values that I'm getting up here, 93.592, okay? So the root, 93.592, this foot, 93.592, so far so good. This other foot, 93.592, perfect, okay? You always, and no matter what, you always do that because that's part of my workflow. All right. Well, now I know for Morpheus. I know that his works, so I don't have to check him again. But anytime you're doing this, that's the first thing you do with a new character. Why? Well, imagine if you're at a studio and you start creating a cycle from a rig that you haven't tested. You might want to, if you don't know why this is so important, to check out the How to Properly Test a Rig lecture that's also in the store. Take a look for it. But anyway, suffice it to say, I'm never going to skip this step because that is workflow. Okay? So now that we know that we have the absolute awesomeness of a totally totally a rig that's been created with this in mind, which is great. We can find the stride length. So that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to move this and find a pose that looks like basically a relaxed step at like a reasonable distance. You know what I mean? So that's probably a little bit too far. It's probably still a little far. You don't want to go so overboard too. One of the things that I've noticed is that there's a lot of walk cycles out there where they're taking literally the biggest step that they possibly can. I think in the quick quad walk, I might have made it a little bit confusing by actually showing like something like this, showing like this is your maximum possible stride length. And I'm not sure if I backed off of there enough. But at any rate, you want to find what looks basically comfortable, okay? And you don't need to worry about the weird 20.607, that's weird. All you need to worry about is actually this foot, because it moved off of 0. So ostensibly, this back foot that's planted on 0 is going to move forward twice as far as this planted foot. So it's 45.775. Let's just round it down to 45. Remember, that's how you get it so that the cycle is actually kind of easy to manage and easy to take care of. Okay. So what I would do is just quickly, I'll just set a key. Go forward, just almost an arbitrary amount of frames. A comfortable walk cycle might be between 16 and 20 frames. It might be a little more or less depending on what the character is doing. But let's just go forward 8 frames, and just imagine that that's half the cycle. Okay, and I'm going to put this. I'm going to key everything. Okay. Key everything, but I'm going to go into my graph editor, and on this control, well, I can multiply in my head. So I'm going to do this one actually right here. 45 times 2 is 90, right? But this guy plus 45, I have to do in the graph editor because I don't know what 20.607 is, plus 45. It's so much easier to go plus equals 45, right? Okay, so there he is. All right, so that's one step. All right, and then I can set a key again, and then on frame 16. And someone aptly pointed out in the forums that it's not actually supposed to be 16. I lose one frame because of the fact that it loops. So the first frame is the last frame, but at these speeds, it's not totally necessary to worry too much about that stuff. I wouldn't worry about it if I were you. Don't worry about it. Okay. So I've set it on 16 again. All right, and then this guy's already at 45. Okay. So what's 90 plus 45 would be 135, and then this guy, I don't know what that would be. So let's just go right here and go plus equals 45 again. Okay? So there it is. So there's my stride working perfectly. All right? Alternatively, what I could have done is I could have actually made this linear anyway. Okay? No big deal. But it's not necessary. Another thing that I sometimes do is when I want to copy the rotations that are on the route, I'll middle mouse drag like I'm doing, let go, hit S to set key, but then on my graph editor, as you'll see, it copied that key. Well, I know my stride is 90, so I'm just going to go plus equals 90. No big deal. Okay? And then when it updates, there it is. All right? So here we go. Now I have, these are my strides. Now of course the foot needs to be planted longer than that. You know, the foot doesn't necessarily move exactly when the other one plants, that kind of thing. I think I have auto key on, so my tangents aren't looking gorgeous or whatever. Then I like to, this is not absolutely necessary for you, but my workflow is to get this moving in place immediately. Now, unfortunately, Morpheus's mover controls are a little bit distracting, and they're attached to his master control. So that kind of stinks. So what I'm going to do is hide it, and then on frame 16, set another key, and open up my graph editor again and translate Z. I'm going to translate this -90, okay, so that it's working against my character, so he stays in place. I'm going to constrain my timeline to that 16 frames, and then hit V, and then there you have it. I have what I know is a mathematically perfect stride length, even though I have a weird, and remember, look, 20.607, no, it's not actually 20.607. Check this out. Settings, precision, 20.607480214035548, and it actually goes on and on and on from that. It's a floating point operation, okay? So it goes on and on and on and on and on, right? I don't need to know what all these crazy values are. That's not necessary at all. All I need to know is my stride length, okay? And then when I'm working in the graph editor, I can just, you know, grab the key and say 20.6, who cares? Plus equals 90, enter, done, okay? Here's how I know it's mathematically perfect, okay? If I select the root in all these, all right, so root, master, foot, and foot, okay, go into my graph editor, okay? And I grab all these, let's just make them all flat for now, okay? And I make them all, or select the translate Z, let's just show selected types, all right? And if I make all of them post infinity, cycle with offset, and if I view infinity, forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, they go on, and you can see this dotted blue line that goes down. That's the master control working against the progression of the root and the 2 feet. And up close like this is kind of like, hey, what's going on? This looks a little bit complicated. Is that actually working? But if you zoom out a lot, you can see that basically in general, it works itself out perfectly, because you know, they're totally the opposite curves. So basically after that, it's just the exact same thing. Follow the same workflow. I would move on to the hips, make them move up and down, start getting the hips involved with that weight shift, that lean basically, and overlapping the spine, swing the arms, do the foot rolls, you're almost done. So it always comes down to workflow. You got to expect by now that is going to be the answer I go with. But I wanted to show you just with 2 legs how fast it is. It's actually, you know, I guess just as fast, if not a little bit faster, than finding the stride length with 2 legs. I mean, with 4 legs. So that's a great question. Give it a shot. I've said before, I think it's, you know, it's pretty much expected of a professional animator to be able to create a walk cycle in something like, you know, an afternoon for a character, depending on the complexity of the character, of course. But, you know, you should be able to sit down, familiar yourself with the rig, and kind of like bang out a cycle, you know, in an afternoon. So see if you can work and practice your way up to that speed, and use the workflow I show you to get there. Thanks for the question. It's a really good one. Keep an eye around the site this week, because there's a lot of exciting things happening, of course. I want to see you guys at all these events and doing all these things. Take advantage of the free trial, and you know, spread the word about the site, because that's how I do better and better. Is I I take more and more time for the lectures and put on awesome content and put on webcasts and stuff like that. And I can do that when there's a lot of people coming out and supporting. So please spread the word, and I appreciate everything that you do. So good luck with your animation, and as always, rock on.